Kei-san, a young woman, lived with her parents and grandmother. Initially a kind-hearted person, the grandmother had become bedridden years ago and gradually turned bitter, endlessly muttering complaints and mean remarks to her daughter, who cared for her, even accusing them of wishing for her speedy demise. This led to a strained relationship where she was indeed eventually regarded in the light she feared. Neglect followed, with insufficient care, exercise, and declining meal quality, accelerating her physical decline. Eventually, she could neither leave her bed nor move her body, and became unable to speak, only breathing within her bedding. It was clear to any observer that her time was short. Kei-san's room was on the second floor. One night, as she slept, a car horn suddenly blared outside. Kei-san, trying to ignore it, was disturbed by its persistent sound. Frustrated by the audacity of such a disruption, she peered outside and was chilled to the bone. Parked in front of the house was a large hearse. It was unclear if anyone was inside. The vehicle simply sat there quietly. Feeling scared, Kei-san covered herself entirely with her blanket, shaking until the sound stopped, followed by a disturbing silence. The next morning, Kei-san asked her parents if they heard the horn, but they denied it. Considering the loudness, it seemed implausible they hadn't noticed, yet there appeared to be no reason for them to lie. Regaining some composure by morning, Kei-san concluded that perhaps the hearse had come for her grandmother. It seemed the only logical explanation. Yet, the grandmother remained in her usual state. The hearse returned the following night, and the night after that. Kei-san tried to ignore it but discovered the horn would not stop unless she looked down at the vehicle from her second-floor window. The ongoing terror led her into a near-neurotic state. On the seventh day, her parents had to attend to something at a relative's house. Ideally, Kei-san would have joined, particularly given her unspeakable reasons for wanting to, but someone needed to stay with the grandmother. Given Kei-san's deteriorating mental state, her parents somewhat forcibly instructed her to remain behind. To distract herself, Kei-san watched cheerful TV shows, avoiding her grandmother's room and neglecting to serve her lunch. Her parents promised to return by evening, but time passed without any sign of them. By midnight, with the usual time for the hearse's arrival looming, there was still no contact. The horn eventually sounded. Kei-san, being downstairs, disliked the idea of observing it up close and instead watched from her usual second-floor perspective. Astonishingly, several figures in black emerged from the hearse, entered the gates, and approached the house. Fear overwhelmed Kei-san as the doorbell rang persistently, transitioning to light knocks and finally violent banging. Terrified beyond belief, Kei-san wondered if perhaps she forgot to lock the front door. Growing more convinced of her oversight, she dashed downstairs toward the entrance. Just as she reached it, the phone rang piercingly amidst the continued door assault. Frozen, she eventually grabbed the receiver, exclaiming, "Hello? Hello? Hello? Is this the residence of Kei-san?" Came a gentle male voice. "This is the police. Please, calm down and listen. Your parents have just died in a car accident. You are their daughter, aren't you? Hello? Hello?" Kei-san stood in shock. Suddenly, the previously noisy door fell silent, as if nothing had happened. She thought, could the hearse have been for her parents and not her grandmother? And what about her grandmother? As she pondered, a tap on her shoulder startled her. Turning around, she found her grandmother, who should have been incapable of movement, standing and smiling at her, saying, "You'll be joining us too." Everyone, were you scared by Grandma's words? But you know, what might truly be scary is the possibility of our family bonds breaking apart like this. Oh, is the hearse waiting? Lol, or maybe, the most terrifying part of this story was the ominous grandma. But it's okay now. The story is over. Let's go to sleep with peace of mind. Good night.